Who do we think? Okay, right. Real quick before we go to break, who do we think Edge is picking? He doesn't pick on Raw, but who do we think he's gonna pick?
Roman.
I say Roman. Yeah, I say Roman. I think that Roman Roman telling them you ain't got it no more is bigger than Drew
Right.
saying it. I think that Edge, like you want your Royal Rumble winner to go into, and at least on with the men, you want your Royal Rumble winner going into it with a heel because it feels like they're accomplishing something, and you're not diminishing what Drew's doing on his side. I think that Roman at this point is he's so made, and like it's been what 6 months, he's so made. Title, no title, Roman is that guy. And they ain't even got to keep the thing on edge for very long, but you can get that moment that people want to see. And I just think that you can do things with Roman that don't involve matches. You got the Usos sitting back there, Edge having different people to interact with on SmackDown. Yeah, I think Roman is the money match.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I for all those reasons, but also because like Edge is very story based, and if he knows he can't go in the ring like a Seth Rollins or something right now, he would do really well with Roman cutting those 5-minute promos in the ring, talking about his kids and his wife and paying his rent and shit like that. Like, I think that is the way to go, especially if you're able to still have
his rent. You don't got no damn rent.
Hey, I don't know how Edge living. I don't know how you see what he did to KO. I'm mad about that too. I'm mad about. I'm not really fucking with Roman right now. I'm not mad about that.
So let's just like we can talk about the rest of the Royal Rumble event as well, but definitely that Roman versus KO match, because it was something where this was absolutely the last chance for Kevin Owens by far.
I don't believe nothing he about to do after the loss. He could probably get beat by a Grand Metalik, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Listen, it's the way Kevin Owens. I think everyone saw it coming because obviously the plan is like Roman for Mania. And then like the best time, we've talked about it so many times, the best time was probably like a month ago if they want to drop the belt, do a quick switch and give it right back to him. But to me, I agree with a lot of it in that like, damn, we really like kind of like hold out Kevin Owens like 4 times in a row. Like, and the crazy thing is like his character can absolutely take it. But like, why do we want to continue kind of doing that when we're continuing this process of like creating an atmosphere, especially on SmackDown, where the main event scene isn't truly a scene? It is Roman and kind of like whoever. Yeah. It's Roman, and like at some point the main event scene was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. So there's definitely like it's definitely like there's a problem on top on SmackDown for all the good things that are going on SmackDown, which is a really great and breezy show to kind of watch. There's definitely a problem on top in terms of like not establishing a scene or contenders or people to come after Roman eventually. Like WrestleMania is going to finish, and then where do you have from there? And just kind of, throwing Kevin Owens to the wolves. It was an entertaining match. It was a great match. I didn't like the finish, but hey,
it's because they botched the finish. That's why the finish was tough to watch. Paul Heyman, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do more now that the Royal Rumble's over and you have stuff to get into in the summer. But to me, it made sense to have Nakamura come out when Adam Pearce said subject to change, just based on what they built like the couple weeks before. I think that Kevin Owens, the thing about him is, like you said, they hold him 4 times, but they literally hold him 4 times. Like they came up with random wonky finishes or interference or things as to why he lost. And so, he's I remember somebody, my big homie, the wrestling otaku, was like, had a 30-second YouTube video. He was like, Kevin, for yourself, for your career, for your family, you need to go to AEW. Nigga, for what? You mean to tell me 4 straight main events with Roman Reigns is like, that's the sign you need to jump ship? Like, that's the new creative direction for you? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. If for no other reason than like, you're in the main event. Are you winning it? No. Have you won it before? Yes. Do you get to say you're a guy who challenged Roman Reigns and defended against Goldberg and competed with Rollins and was one of the most decorated NXT champs, like, and headbutted Vince McMahon and got a payday with Shane McMahon? Like, so many good things have happened to him that when the bad things happen, sometimes we tend to forget them, and then the bad things ain't really, really, really bad, you know. With all that said, I still think that's a spot where your story allows you to throw a Nakamura in there and maybe save KO a loss, but he's going to be good going forward for
Yeah,
sure.
he is. I want to talk about Bianca Belair. I know we're all happy. We could talk a whole hour about her, but who do you think? Where do we think this is going? There's reports, and I know you use this. You consider these with a pinch of salt, grain of salt, rather. They're saying that they don't know what they want to do with her, and I think that they absolutely know what they want to do with her at WrestleMania. But what do we think? Where do we think the direction is going to be?
It's got to be Sasha at this point. I mean, so just because I don't see them, the swerve would be to go with Asuka, but I don't even think that's beneficial to anybody at this point. I don't think Bianca either beating Asuka or them having a competitive match kind of out of nowhere and having to kind of build a feud kind of out of bare bones is good. They can do it, but I don't think it will be good, especially with a lot of things appearing on Raw.
Yeah, keep her off Raw, please.
I think you go for the Bianca versus Sasha. I mean, this is an opportunity to have two women of color in the rightfully in a main event slot at WrestleMania, and it's a once in a lifetime thing. And I think you do it for the moment. And I think you do it for the history, and I think you do it for the future more so than anything. Just so people can at least see, like, yo, we're making these progression moving forward, all these other things, and we're putting these people in great positions and roles. Also, I think it'll be a much better match. Sasha versus Bianca. Sasha has done really well with everything that she's. I mean, storylines, matches, yeah, but I think she's done really, really well in terms of these matches, and it'll be great.
Yeah, all due respect to Carmella, do Sasha a favor and put her in there with an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, and even as somebody who's a big fan of Bailey, I think that whatever Bailey doesn't have in athleticism, she makes up for in every other way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so those matches are still really good and physical, but no, put Sasha in there with somebody who can throw Sasha around a little bit. Like, who can make her work. And not that she doesn't work hard, but we just don't get that a lot. Like, I think that Charlotte's really athletic. But they've done that a million times. Like, put Sasha in there with somebody who's going to push her to maybe do some different things. I think the biggest thing about it is you want Bianca, just like with Bailey, to be able to talk and somebody to talk back to her and tell her why it's not her time. And I think you can get that out of Sasha without necessarily turning her, because even though Sasha's a face, Sasha ain't never no damn face.
Right.
Sasha is in the Sasha business, and that's why she's so appealing. So, yeah, I think that you get those two in there, and there the obvious parallels of two super athletic, super attractive, wildly popular black women going at it for the title. Sasha being the standard bearer for women's wrestling, at the very least, North American women's wrestling for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and then Bianca being, and again, not that Sasha's outdated at all, but Bianca being that new prototype that Sasha birthed, like that, like the Biancas, the Embers, the Reyes, like these big, strong athletes, like who really get at it, like in the weight room and on the track. All of a sudden being this new crop of talent, and how does Sasha compare to that? How does Sasha react to that? Like, I think that's the match. And then, like you said, Raw is shenanigans more often than it needs to be. SmackDown plays it simple, but Raw, they just want to be crazy, man. And really, they've, maybe by necessity, but they have made Oscar look really silly. Um, whether it's her, she shouldn't be the first one to be scared of Alexa Bliss.